Hello and welcome to a brand new series of reviews here on my channel. In this series we are going to be taking a close look at the brand new releases from B&M, and that is the Winter 2020 releases. What is up and welcome to another episode of a series where I always seem to fuck up my lines. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, let's try that again. So welcome to another episode of me reviewing the brand new wave from B&M, exclusive to B&M might I add. And this time we are taking a look at the History of the Daleks Set 4, which is of course from the story of the Daleks Master Plan. And I'll be completely honest, from the beginning I wasn't too excited about this particular set because for me personally it isn't really an army building set per se, but I'll get into that a bit later on. So as you can see, we have the set here, mint sealed in its packaging, and on the outside we have the original releases of both the Flamethrower Dalek and the Supreme Dalek. As you can see from the intro from this video, I of course have been army building this particular set as well, even though I was a little bit reluctant to do so. I think I've ended up buying maybe 5 of these sets, which for me is actually not many. But yeah, I already have 3 of the Pyro Flame Daleks, and I don't believe there is any more than that in the actual story. But that being said, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to have like maybe, you know, 8 of them all lined up, perhaps setting my collection on fire. Shouldn't really say that, horrible thing to think. So yeah, let's take a closer look at the actual set, the History of the Daleks Set 4. So of course we have the packaging, which we are very used to now. It displays the Daleks really nicely, and I'm glad that I've decided from the beginning to keep one of each set mint sealed in its packaging. Of course, if I show you the back of the box, you have all the information text from the Daleks Master Plan and also about the actual props themselves, which are included in this set. And that's pretty much all there is to say about the actual packaging, because it is just the same as always. But more importantly, let's take a look and see what we get in this set. So here is the inlay. I believe it's a digital image, it certainly looks that way. Of course it's the inside of the Dalek spaceship. It's pretty awesome, a little bit kind of dull in colour, but of course again these stories were in black and white, so what else do we really expect? So as you can see here, the Pyro Flame part of the Dalek is actually not even attached in the packaging, which is quite nice. I believe the original release that came in the Enemies of the First Doctor set, it was attached and it used to get a bit bent. So 10 out of 10 for doing this. Character options, thank you very much. Alrighty then, so I've already double checked to make sure the lights, or the ears if you like, on these Daleks are all there, because my first episode that I did, I reviewed the Chase set, which is the History of the Daleks Set 3, I hadn't realised that one of my Daleks was very sadly missing its ear, and it had been missing its ear since the moment I opened it from the packaging, and I can't find it anywhere. So I think I might be the unluckiest person in the world to have bought a set and it's incomplete, so I'm kind of glad I bought loads. I don't know what I will do with that Dalek. I'll probably have it as a damaged Dalek because it's damaged. It's only got one ear. It's half deaf, I suppose. Anyway, getting back to this set. So we have a lovely Pyro Flame Dalek and a Supreme Dalek as well from the Story of the Daleks Master Plan. So let's take a look at the Pyro Flame Dalek first. So keeping in the same format, we are going to be basically having a look at the differences between the original release, which is this one here, and the newer release, which of course is that one there. And so the most noticeable difference will be, more than likely, the gun box is a different colour. I think it actually works a bit better on this particular Dalek, the gun box being that kind of white colour, because the fact that the Dalek has a flame arm, you kind of don't really, your eyes aren't really drawn to the gun box, they're drawn to that huge flame. Whenever people come into my collection and view it for the first time, they usually point out to me this particular Dalek and also the Special Weapons Dalek, just because they look so much different to all their other Daleks, so that's always quite nice. Now the paint apps are different in both of these Daleks. The blue on the original one is definitely darker and the new one is lighter, so it's the other way around to the Chase set, which is quite strange. The dome lights as well on my original are orange. I'll show you a closer look there, and the dome lights on these ones are kind of yellowy, a bit more like the Power of the Daleks, which I don't mind, to be honest. I did like the orange lights, but I'll settle for yellow lights. Of course, underneath exactly the same. The articulation of these Daleks, I'm not even going to go through it because we all know what they do. of course, I hope. And another difference, of course, is the eye stalk. The eye stalk on the original one has a kind of darker blue, and again, less detailing, whereas the eye stalk on these new ones, I find for some reason the eye is very bendy. The eye stalk is more detailed, and it has like a light blue effect, which I'm beginning to actually prefer to the original. I don't know which one's more accurate, if I'm honest. And of course, the gun sticks are very, very similar, but this one seems to have better detailing. That's the newer one, which is quite nice. And then we have the flame arm itself, which on first appearance looks absolutely the same, but I believe if I was to take the original one out and show you, there it is. In comparison to the newer one, there is definitely a difference, and I'll show you that right here, right now. So you can see the tip of the new one is like a clear plastic. It makes no odds because when it's in. But yeah, a noticeable difference there if you're wondering. So of course, when the Dalek doesn't have his pyro flame inside, he just kind of has the empty flamethrower section. And I've never really thought about it, but I might actually, now I've got so many of these, display some of them like this, because in a way it's like they're prepping for the fire. So you could have like one that's empty and then one with a flame arm to kind of show, you know, they're beginning to set the jungles of Mechanus on fire. Now another thing that you could do with this Dalek, and it really pains me, why did they not include a spare plunger? Because you could just literally pull out the gun like this and then stick a plunger in this Dalek, and you've got a drone from Dalek's master plan, which technically we haven't got yet. So why did they not just include a plunger for, you know, swappable arms? That kind of, you know, is a bit annoying. I know these sets are supposed to be budget, but surely the cost of however many sets there are, it can't cost that much money to include a plunger. I don't know, maybe it does. But yeah, that's probably my only gripe with this particular set. I, again, adore the paintwork on the newer one. It's a lot kind of brighter silver as compared to the dull colour on the older release. So with that being said, let's take a look at the Black Supreme Dalek from the same story, of course, the Dalek's master plan. So here is the original Supreme Dalek, and this one here, of course, is the brand new one. Again, this is a common theme of these sets, it apparently seems. You can see that the gun box on the new one is the lighter colour, and actually it's quite nice. It really works well on this particular Dalek, in my opinion, probably the best. Because the black is so black, it really offsets quite nicely. I am looking at it thinking the original release here, the grey one, almost the grey looks a little bit out of place and the white one doesn't. So how about that? It's very strange. I didn't really agree with it on the Chase Dalek, but I do agree with it on the Supreme Dalek, so that's odd. The hemispheres are also different shades of blue, as we come to expect, and the black paint also seems a bit more glossier on the new one. The lights, if I show you here, there's a bit of a difference. On the original release they're a lot brighter, and on the newer release they're kind of cloudy in a way. I kind of prefer, I think, the original ones, but that's just one of those things. And of course the eye stalks, very, very different. On this one here, we've got that light blue and highly more detailed version, I think, to the original one, which is this one here. Dalek here was originally released in the First Doctor and Dalek set from the Toys R Us wave, which was really quite difficult to get hold of, especially as now anyway. So it's nice to finally be able to kind of get hold of one of these, which is very, very similar, and in my opinion, probably a better version actually than the original. Now, I have got about 5 or 6 of these new History of the Dalek sets. For army building the Supreme Dalek seems a bit strange, but then I thought maybe it'd be quite nice to have like an army, or various armies, of like one Supreme with 3 or 4 drones, and then repeat. So that's probably the plan that I'm going to do for that. Like I mentioned in my previous episode, I will be uploading a series of videos where I talk about the army building of each History of a Dalek set. So far there's obviously been 4, and I'll carry on that series until we get to the end of the History of a Dalek sets, I suppose, which hopefully will be in quite a few years' time. So thanks for watching this video. Thank you for everyone that subscribed and become a patron. If you want to become a patron, then click the link below. And of course, if you want to subscribe, then hit subscribe. That would be great. I will see you all again for another video in this series very, very soon. Take care and goodbye for now.